Hello, friends. How are you today? So, we are in peak season right now, peak networking season. So, for those of you who've already had a busy year, we're just going to layer on a lot more work with asking you to go to lots of networking events. I want to challenge that. There is some FOMO at this time of the year, that fear of missing out. But for those of you who are like me, that actually I don't enjoy networking events, especially as I've gotten older. So I need to employ some strategies when I do decide to go and attend networking events. Couple of ideas for you. One, make sure that you are getting your most bang for your buck in terms of if you were to give money to this event that you were going to. Many times we do give money, right? We actually have to pony up dollars. But if it was coming out of our own back pocket, would we attend that event? Also, when we spend time, it is money, it is precious. So, where are you willing and where are you wanting to invest yourself best? So then that way you have the most traction. You see the best people that you need to see to be able to garner the results that you're trying to garner. And then see, it's knowing that I don't need to attend everything. If I'm going to see the same people over and over again at three events this week, I'm going to just choose one of them. Then that way I ensure that I can make it through December and still be sane and nice and happy for my family when the time comes that I need to spend that time with them. So it's also knowing that there's a strategy when you decide to attend an event of I don't need to meet everyone in the room, but for me, if I can find and have three great conversations with people that there's something for me to follow up on, it will be a success. Now, that wasn't something that I learned that I knew very early in my career. When I used to go to events, it was become a like, let's switch cards. Here's a card, there's a card, here's my card, I will take your card. And then I would get back to my office. I had a stack of business cards, but I had no idea who those people are or had the richness of a conversation. So it really was like cold calling them. Instead, what I love to do is make a goal for myself. If I have three great conversations, it's a success. Even if I just walk in and have three great conversations at the very beginning, it's a success. I can walk out. No, I won't, but it's making sure, okay, I do have an intention. If I can, I'm going to find out who's going to be in the room. If I can, I will make some calls ahead of time and perhaps be on the lookout for people that I can be looking for. It actually takes the intensity down. For those of you who may really detest networking events, it's finding a buddy, finding a wingman, wingwoman that you can work the room with. Doesn't mean that you're attached to them the entire time, but you start a conversation, especially if they know a lot of people in the room, starting that conversation, getting it going, and then excusing yourself so you can go start another conversation with your buddy coming to meet you. That allows you to cover more territory. It allows them to be able to have some comfort in working that room. So that buddy system is always great. And then finally, there's some science behind networking. It's finding not one-on-one conversations. Science actually proves that if you walk into a group of three or four, again, studies show this is not my science, but studies show that if there's a woman in the group, there's more of a willingness to get yourself invited to the conversation. Now, I'm going to disprove that. Years ago, I attended an event in a suburb of Houston. Now, I was invited by a local economic development group, but they were the host of the event and they were the only people that I knew in the room. So I said, okay, here's a chance for me to practice what I preach. Literally, I could have been in Denver for the amount of people that I knew, and I live in Houston. So what I did instead was I said, okay, I'm going to find that group of three or four with a woman in it. So I did. As it turned out, it disproved my theory. It disproved that science because the woman was actually really shy. There was a great guy in the room that said, "Hey, tell me about your company." And I started talking about their company. I wanted to know more about it. It ended up being a fantastic relationship. I walked in being interested before being interesting. And that has been a great client of mine for almost 6 years now. So just knowing that sometimes we get rewarded just for showing up. It's like the gym. Sometimes just putting on the workout clothes will get you a great result. It's the same thing with networking events, just showing up and you don't know what's on the other side. It's also realizing that it is a very artificial experience. Let's just call it what it is. When we are walking into a group of strangers, and it's knowing that we were taught as children not to talk to strangers. So we are trying to change and transform our mind into something that it was baked hard in us from our childhood. So it's knowing that talking to strangers piece is a little bit intimidating. What I challenge you to do is not get on your phone and get in the corner and try to look really important. We all know that you're just distracting yourself from not actually talking to people. It's also not about showing up, walking in, grabbing your name badge, and just going sit at the table and not interacting with anyone. That's not a good investment of your time and your company's money. It's instead forcing yourself and challenging yourself. I'm going to have some really great conversations, and I'm going to look for something that I can follow up with. Our clients test us in the small things before they allow us to do great things for them. It could be something as simple as you just moved to town. You need a great dentist. I have a great dentist. I'm going to follow up with you with my dentist's contact information, and I'm going to do it within the first 24 hours. We build relationships slowly and then all at once. And so that's how you get to relationships. That's how you get to great value when you are in need of doing some networking events and just breathing through and knowing that, yep, you'll get to the other side and maybe you'll learn a little bit more eventually with a little bit of curiosity and some great follow-up tactics. It's knowing again and reminding that you don't have to go to all of them. If you just go to a couple this season and count yourself as, yeah, it's been a success. I'm going to get to the other side. Hey, look, I love talking about this and any other related business development strategies, really those tactical skills that get us to challenging ourselves and stretching ourselves in a different kind of way. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out, and I will see you soon. Happy connecting.